There's a feeling you've never spoken out loud. A quiet discomfort when someone you know suddenly succeeds. Effortlessly, publicly, beautifully. You smile, you nod, you say, "Good for them." But inside, something pulls. A flicker of bitterness. A silent sting. Carl Jung called it the shadow, the hidden self that holds envy, shame, and repressed desire. And what you're about to realize is that you don't actually hate them. Envy is not loud. It doesn't announce itself. It doesn't scream or rage. It whispers. It disguises itself as cynicism, as indifference, as superiority. It shows up as detachment, as sarcasm, as judgment. You might mock someone for being too ambitious, too showy, too lucky, but beneath those words is often a silent ache. Why not me? Jung believed the things we resent in others are reflections of our own unlived potential. When someone else wins, a part of you remembers a dream you gave up on, and it hurts. Maybe you were told to stay small. Maybe life convinced you to settle. So now, when others shine, your shadow rises. Not because you hate them, but because you once believed you could have been them. Bitterness is not weakness. It's the scar of a buried hunger. It grows when we tell ourselves, "I don't want that anymore." But we do. We always did. Bitterness is the bodyguard of unexpressed desire. It forms when we've convinced ourselves we don't want what we once burned for. Instead of chasing the dream, we critique the dreamer. Instead of honoring our hunger, we numb it with detachment. It's safer to say that life isn't for me than to admit I'm afraid I won't make it. But here's the paradox. The more we suppress desire, the louder our resentment becomes. Not just toward others, but toward ourselves. Jung said, "What we do not make conscious will control us." Your shadow doesn't want to destroy you. It wants to be seen. Because until you face the parts of yourself you've abandoned, you will keep feeling like life is happening to someone else. You think you're too wise to be jealous. You may think you're above jealousy, that you're too wise, too self-aware, too spiritual. But the truth is, the more evolved you believe you are, the more subtle your shadow becomes. It hides behind, "I'm just being honest." It cloaks itself in, "I'm not impressed." But envy is never about them. It's about you, the version of you that never got to exist, the child who wanted to be seen, the artist who stopped creating, the soul that still believes it's too late. When you envy others, you aren't seeing their success. You're seeing your abandonment of your own. You're not seeing their life. You're seeing your unlived one. But here's where the shadow becomes sacred. Jung didn't believe the shadow was evil. He believed it was raw energy, unrefined, unloved, and misunderstood. If you allow it, resentment can become revelation. It can show you what you're still hungry for. It can direct you back to your power. The people you envy are not your competition. They aren't your enemies. They're mirrors. They're messengers. They're reminders. Not of what you lack, but of what you desire. You don't resent them because they won. You resent the silence that kept you from trying. The shadow will never disappear. It will always follow you. It walks with you. But if you learn to walk beside it, it becomes your teacher. It will stop sabotaging and start guiding. So next time you feel that twinge, that quiet dislike when someone else is thriving, don't dismiss it. Don't shame it. Study it. Pause. Ask yourself, what is this really about? Because envy is not a flaw. It's a flashlight, pointing toward the life you still have time to create. Jung said, until you make the unconscious conscious, it will rule your life. But now, you're starting to see.